So some people had some question on how to connect code.org with the math core curriculum in the younger grades. So I'm going to show you a little way that you can do this. And there's two different ways that you can look at this. When you look at the math core, there's two different kinds of content on the core. And one is content specific. So these are the things like adding, being able to add, adding, being able to subtract, multiply, all of that stuff. So this is content heavy. So you can use code.org to teach mathematical content, and there are benefits to doing that. Another kind of way you can use this, instead of using it with content, would be basically the mathematical practices or the skills, or the metacognitive skills, so what you're thinking about. So these are the two different ways you can look at this, and there are standards. There are content standards in the math, and there are practices skills standards. So the practice skills standards are like being able to persevere through hard problems. So let's look at these. Okay, so I went into uen.com or .org and found this. It's a PDF, and so these are the mathematical practice standards. So they're things like make sense of problems and persevere in solving them, reason abstractly and quantitatively, construct viable arguments, and critique the reasoning of others. So there are 8 of these practice standards they're the same for kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, model with mathematics. And so all of the content standards that we looked at here, all of these content standards are really trying to teach the students to be good at these skills or these practice standards. It's trying to teach them how to think. And so code.org can be used to teach either one of these skills, the content or the procedures. So let me show you an example of how to do this using code.org. Let's look at this standard. It's a kindergarten standard. Understand that the last number name said tells the number of objects counted. The number of objects is the same regardless of their arrangement or the order in which they were counted. So this would be a content standard, and if we wanted to use code.org to help kids how to associate the last number name that they count with the number of objects counted, this is one example of how we could use code.org to do that. So we could have, before the students start pulling out these arrows and start clicking them where they want them to go, what you could do for the center beforehand is have the students count how many steps or how many jumps the bird has to go to get to the pig. So you would say, okay, the bird has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So we've got the number 5 in our mind. And so what we can do is we can say, okay, so then we're going to need 5 of these objects to get the bird over to the pig. And so we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we say, again, we counted to the number 5, and there are 5 objects, so that should get the bird to the pig. And when we run the program, let's see if it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm sorry, I just realized that I'm talking to you like I would talk to a kindergarten class. So, so this could be a center that would teach this concept. So that's content. And you can almost look at any one of these content standards, and it takes a little bit of creative thinking, but you can, if you think in this manner, you can use code.org to teach these things. You would want to teach them in different formats as well, but code.org could be one format that would help make the concept more concrete in their mind, and it would be something that the kids would really enjoy doing as well. Now, you can use it to look at any of these standards, and you would just have to make an argument for how it would make these practice standards work. So make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. You could say, okay, I want you guys to solve all for the first 5 of these in 10 minutes and see if they could do it. And you're giving them a goal to persevere. And so there are a myriad of different ways you can use code.org, and these are just a few of them. So if you want me to show you another example in an older grade, just send me an email and I will be able to help you out with that.